So Lisa Leslie agrees with the rest of us, Rob, that she can't understand why the women in the WNBA keep missing layups. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video. Join us for Kate and Clark's crossover every Monday and Thursday. It is from 6 to 7 on Mondays and 5:30 to 6:30 on Saturdays, Eastern time, except for major holidays. It's a sports reporter site forum. We have to talk about Kate and Clark and other good stuff. So, Rob, Lisa Leslie is coming out and agreeing with us, which is what everybody that's been following the WNBA, at least the fresh eyes that, kind of followed in Kate and Clark. It's like, why are they missing so many layups? I had no idea they were missing this many layups because I basically watched the Olympics and a little bit of college ball. and so we couldn't understand it either.
But this is the thing about both those teams. Their defense is so disruptive that you don't get a good flow. Neither team will really get into a good flow offensively, which makes it hard for them to score. Right. Which also then, for me, I look at the post players where I'm like, okay, this is where post play really comes in. I get that guards can struggle because you haven't gotten enough jump shots, you haven't gotten enough touches, so your rhythm's not there. Post players and layups, I'm like, you gotta make those.
You gotta make those. You gotta make them.
Bro, pump fake, slow down, look at the rim. Like, why are we shooting the ball over? That part for me, I'm just, so again, I look at it and I'm just like, slow down in the post. You need those shots. You need that and one.
Gotta make them count.
That they count.
All right. Well,
so Rob, that she was talking about the defense, I believe, of South Carolina and UConn. I think that was a preview of the Final Four. That's what she was talking about.
Right.
She was talking about their defense, and I'm not surprised by this at all, because everyone's been saying that who didn't watch the WNBA before is like, what's the deal? Why can't these women hit layups? And
right, and I was telling you the reason why, and she pointed out exactly. It's like, slow down. Also, it's like that square, Mark. That's why Why do they think you put that square on the backboard for? For you to go when you go for a layup. If you put anywhere in that square, your chance of making the ball going in is almost 99 whatever percent. If you hit that square right where it is, it's going to go in. So
I have several theories on why they're missing so many layups. One, the first theory is they're not as good as they tell you they are. They keep saying we're the best. This is 144 of the greatest women. Now it's going to be 156 of the greatest women in the world. And look at how great we are. And you should all been watching before. And no, you can't make layups. You're not that great. We shouldn't be watching before. In fact, we don't want to watch now. We only want to watch Kate and Clark because you can't make layups.
Making layups is from grade school, Mark. That's your first shot. When you pick up a basketball, it's not shooting the ball over the front of the rim. First thing is you're at the side of the basket and you're shooting the ball off the backboard into the basket.
Right.
That's the first thing you learn when you first learn basketball.
Easy shot in basketball.
Yes.
So my second theory, Rob, is in the WNBA, which they call physicality, I call illegal defense where fouls aren't called. And I call it prison ball because they're not calling the fouls they should be calling when they get hacked underneath. And that's one of the reasons they miss more layups than they may in Division I college basketball, because they're getting away with more illegal defense, more physical defense that should be called a foul and is not a foul.
So you're saying the physicality when they're going in and players missing the layups because it's not a foul called? Yeah, because you hit the person's arm. How are they supposed to make the layup? If you're getting hit in the arm or getting bodied, that's a foul, and the referees obviously are not calling it. So that kind of contributes to them missing the layup.
If a person gets fouled and the foul's not called, it looks to the people watching on TV that it was just a missed layup. When in fact they missed the layup because they got fouled and the ref screwed up, or they allowed too much physicality, whatever you want to say. And that's all I'm saying. That's reason number two. Reason number three, Rob, that I think, and this is my brother said to me as I was talking to him on the phone about why they're missing so many layups. He said, they're basically looking over the shoulder and they're expecting to get hit and they're worried about it and it affects their concentration. And that's why they miss more layups than they would normally. It's because you're used to so much physicality in the WNBA. They're more like they're expecting it to happen. And so they're worried about it and they're looking over their shoulder. And that's a third reason why I think they miss overlaps. I agree with my brother on that one.
Well, I think yeah, they're expecting it, but I don't think that's the reason why they're missing the layup. But I mean, they're going in, and you know you're going to get hit. No matter what, with a layup, you're going to get contact somewhere. So your concentration has to be on just going all the way through it, expecting the contact, and make the layup. So it can be what's so-called and one. So it shouldn't. If you're a professional, like I said, if you've been playing that many years, you know you're going to get hit in a layup. So to give them an off, like, oh geez, well, they're so worried about getting hit for a layup. No, you're getting paid. You're a professional. You know you play international basketball. You know you're going to get hit on the layup.
Rob, you may be a professional, but you're a human being. And I guarantee you, if you went and did 5 layups where there was no contact whatsoever, nobody hit you, when you do the 6th layup, it wouldn't affect you at all. You just go get us make the 6th layup. But if you did 5 layups and you got hit each time, and sometimes it's coming from behind, you'd be looking over your shoulder a little bit the 6th time because you're a human being. I don't care if you're Michael Jordan. I'm not saying it happens that often. I'm not giving them an excuse for missing many layups. I'm saying that's a small factor on why they're missing layups. I can't put a percentage on it. I don't think that's the main reason. I don't think it's a major reason. I think the main reason is the refs aren't calling fouls, and they're not as good as they think they are.
Well, you're expecting it, but now, like I said, I see a lot of plays now, and I see the reason why they're missing it. Another reason is that so they're driving in, and instead of going all the way through the basket, they'll stop and they'll want to draw, like you said, draw the foul. They're expecting the physicality of it, and then sometimes, like you said, it's not there, and then they adjust their shot to the physical shot they're going to get, and they end up shorting it out or throwing the ball off the backboard or missing it. They're expecting, in fact, they want to draw the contact. They're expecting just shoot the layup.
Right, Rob. I think the one I remember because we were watching at the same time was Melissa Smith actually went forward into the defender and then went to do the layup and then missed the layup. She went forward into the defender.
That's what I'm talking about. I think. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I agree, and I'm not disagreeing that they should be professional enough and good enough that it shouldn't affect them very much or very often. I'm merely saying they're human beings and it happens to some degree. It could be 1%, it could be whatever. But to think that you're not thinking about getting hit and that doesn't affect your concentration, if it's happened the last 5 times you drove to the basket, I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's reality.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, Coach, I've had drills. We have drills where you start on the right-hand side and you're on the left-hand side, and we say go, and the person's trying to block your shot. So you're driving in, and they might hit you, they might not, they might just yell at you ha, and that yell might mess up.
Getting hit in the head 5 times in a row, Rob.
Well, so that like you said, they're human. If you hear that noise, some people are susceptible to noise, and they might say ha, and they're like, oh, and then for that second they might.
And if you're human, that would affect you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But that's why we have those drills. So if you're driving in, you've got to block all that out. Your focus and concentration should be on that backboard.
Either way, I don't want to make too many excuses for the women. I think, Rob, that they don't practice hard enough either. That's reason number 4. They don't work on their craft as much as Caitlin Clark does. And that's one reason. Reason number 4 for why they're missing too many layups. And it could be lack of practice. It could be poor technique, Rob. Like you said, maybe they're not even looking at that little box enough. Like Angel Reese, no way Angel Reese looks at that box when she hits a layup. She just throws it up off the backboard. There's no way, and I'm making fun of her in that sense, but there's just no way because she's way far away from that little box, Rob. And that's the only reason only time you're away from that box is when it's a bank shot and the angle has to be greater, right?
No, but I agree with you, Mark. That's one thing I also think. Yeah, it's practice. If you just go out there, like I said, basketball is such an easy game. You can just do things by yourself. Go out to a court in the rim and just do things and work on your game by yourself for an hour or two. And if you're not making layups, when I used to practice, that was the first thing I'd do. I'd go out and just shoot a couple of layups, and then I'd go around and I'd shoot balls close. And I think the 3-point shot has really ruined the way that people warm up. The young kids warm up now. They just go right out to that 3-point line and just start shooting it.
Yeah, I agree, Rob. Let's just summarize the 5 reasons we came up with. And you down below can decide which of the 5 you think is most important. They're not as good as they think they are. That's one reason they miss the layups. 2 is they get hit and they get fouled and the foul's not called. So it looks like they missed the layup when in fact the ref just screwed up because it's too physical in the league. Number 3, they're thinking about getting hit because they get hit so many times when they driven to the basket and that affects their concentration. Number 4, they don't practice enough or don't practice layups enough, like they're practicing threes too much. And number 5, they have poor technique on their layups, which is what Lisa Leslie said.
Biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups. Period. Like, we're going to fix that. Yeah. That's fixable for you.
There you go, Rob. Technique. Lisa Leslie says, at least for Angel Reese, it's technique. And some of the other women, Rob, don't have technique. Too many of them have it too low when they go do a layup, which 1, it can get blocked more. And 2, it's not as accurate because now it's farther away from the basket between the distance that you're releasing the ball and where you're putting the ball in the basket.
Also, Mark, if you notice, sometimes when they're going in for that layup, instead of like going, with math, going straight into make it easier for you, some of them was kind of fade out a little bit to the right. And actually, when they release it, it's further away from where their spot where they were. So they'll be right there at the spot for the layup, but then they'll drift off to the right and kind of fade, and it'll fade off. I'm like, oh, you didn't go straight into all the way through the basket. I've seen that a lot of that.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't notice that. Good observation, Rob. Good point. All right, let us know what you think down below. Which of those 5 reasons that you think is the most, or which of the 5 reasons? I think there's more than one reason. I think all 5 of them have a small factor, at least. Some have major factors involved. And why they miss so many layups. And Lisa Leslie is right about this. And people were saying, oh, you're being too hard on them. No, Lisa Leslie knows. So, anyways.
I mean, be too hard on that. You've been doing, like I said, you've been doing it since grade school.
Right. Good point, Rob. It's the first thing you learn. And these women are tall and they're professional. There's no reason they should be missing layups. They're not 10-year-old girls.
Yeah.
All right. If you like this video, hit the like button. And guess what, Rob? You haven't subscribed to the channel yet? Make Rob happy. Hit that notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next video.
Hey, don't do my side.
don't Rob says when he does this, people subscribe. In droves, they do. And join us for
Kate Clark's when I do that. Not you. Yeah, not you.
No, not me. Not when I do it. They go, we're not going to subscribe. Join us for Caitlin Clark's crossover every Monday and Thursday, 6 to 7 and 5:30 to 6:30, respectively, except for major holidays, Eastern time. And it's a Caitlin Clark crossover is sports reporter type forum and debates with guest podcasters. And if you want, you can donate to our channel with super chats and super thanks down below and a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Make your layups.